This new game was Sonic Heroes. As said, this game would be completely independent of the adventure titles, a decision I can't say I really fault Sega for. You have to remember that Sonic was a blockbuster hit during the days of the Sega Genesis, and this was for a lot of people going to be the first Sonic game since Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Okay, don't kill me Sega fanboys, but here's the truth. No one owned a Sega CD, no one owned a 32X, no one owned a Saturn, and only a handful of people even owned a Dreamcast. It would be like if on the Nintendo Switch, instead of making Super Mario Odyssey, they made Super Mario 3D World 2, or Super Mario Sunshine 2 for the Wii. Now, you certainly don't need to have played a previous game in the series to understand the context of the franchise, but by marketing it to fans as an independent project, you are more likely to appeal to a wider demographic of people, including me, because I hate starting a game series with something numbered 13. No, I don't care if it's an independent story. I can't go into it knowing I'm missing the context of the series. I'm a freaking nerd. I kind of said this earlier, but the weird thing about Sonic Heroes is just how history treats it. Again, people don't like to associate this with the adventure games, but no one likes to associate it with the later games, making this game sort of a black sheep of the Sonic series, which if you've seen some of the weird games that have come out here, I think that kind of says a lot. Circling back to its release before we start our adventure, I think it should be noted that Sonic Heroes would release on 3 platforms during its original run: the Nintendo GameCube, the original Xbox, and tax fraud. Yeah, so the PS2 version isn't great. It's not unplayable, and Sega basically had to make it, as the PS2 was, and hell, is still the best-selling console of all time. There was even a rumor that Sega had to make a PS2 version, or Sony wouldn't let Sega ever make a game on their console again. And that's why you don't give children access to the internet, because this rumor is a load of horse. But yeah, the PS2 version was rough. It had a way worse performance and the graphics were way worse, and a lot of the spectacle was minimized in that version of the game. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if this game's mixed reputation actually developed from people who grew up with the PS2 version. This was by far the worst, but it was the best selling, so maybe that explains it a bit. And if you did grow up with the PS2 version and hate this game because of that, I present a judgment-free pass from me. Expires once you have another crappy take though.